couple months, like a lot of people, so I'm going to get through it. But if I stop speaking kind of quickly, it's because I'm probably going to have a coughing jag or something. But your shirt kind of reminds me of the QR code. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, you should see some QR codes on your table this morning. And while you're looking for that, let me just say, welcome. This is a fabulous crowd. We are so glad you're here. We're going to do some Mentimeter questioning this morning, and so this QR code will give you the opportunity to get to those questions. So please take just a second to do that.
So this will help us take the pulse of the audience, but we'll also talk about at the end that these questions are just the beginning of helping have citizen input into the City of Franklin strategic plan known as Franklin Forward. But first, before we get started this morning, this is our first Breakfast with the Mayors of 2024. There are 4 Breakfasts with the Mayors in our series, which is presented by our great partners, Pinnacle Financial Partners. I saw Vicki Manning, Linda Elmlinger, and others here this morning from Pinnacle, as well as Gresham Smith. I saw Jessica Lucian and maybe some others from Gresham Smith. They are the presenting partners for this series, which allow us to keep this event free. The other dates for Breakfast with the Mayors are April 30th, July 30th, and October 29th. And right now we plan to be here at Rolling Hills, which is our home for Breakfast with the Mayors.
Yes, as we continue to thank our partners this morning, we also want to thank Williamson Health, and you're going to hear from them in just a few minutes, as well as Atmos Energy, represented by Kenny Hay and Christina Christensen, who are our 2024 sustaining partners. Let's thank them.
And we are so lucky to have platinum partners for this event: UHY Audit, Advisory, and Tax Consulting, First Bank, Hazen and Sawyer, Williams County Association of Realtors, as well as Vulcan Materials. I saw Josiah here this morning, and Williamson Memorial Funeral Home and Cremation Services. And then thank you this morning to Puckett's Grocery and Restaurant. How about that breakfast this morning? And we couldn't do it without our friends from Lion Leadership Group, who are the local McDonald's franchisee. And Terry Wemke is here, and Terry gets up early and makes the trek over here, helps us get the coffee. So thank all of the food providers for us this morning as well. As I mentioned, Williamson Health is a great community partner and is one of our sustaining partners. And so I would like to point out on your table, there's also a flyer. So here we go. So February is Heart Month, and we have a video for you to watch about their great services from Williamson Health. But also, this is a great deal. During February, they are offering the coronary calcium score screening for $50 at your own cost, but you have to call during February to make that appointment, and I'm already thinking about what I'm going to do on Friday and make that call. So let's watch a little video.
Yeah, Williamson Medical Center has always been known for things like orthopedics, OBGYN, and emergency medicine, but I think a lot of people don't know about how incredible the cardiology program we have here.
I got a phone call that my husband had collapsed, not to worry that the EMTs got there very quickly, and that he was already on his way to Williamson Medical.
Suddenly, I was met at the emergency room. A doctor started doing all their procedures, and then they rolled me into the cath lab, and as soon as he got the blockage cleared, it was like day and night. I mean, I went from feeling terrible to just like, okay, I can get up and walk out of here now.
Cardiac services at Williamson Medical Center has a tremendous presence. It is a truly state-of-the-art heart hospital as far as our capabilities in treating emergency heart conditions, heart attacks.
We have about 20 cardiologists on our staff, and they all come from 2 groups, the Vanderbilt Medical Group and the Ascension St. Thomas Group. We perform procedures like angioplasties, stents. We have nuclear medicine capabilities for our stress testing. We have an incredible cardiac rehab program here
most of us have a focus within cardiology. For example, I'm an interventional cardiologist, meaning I do a lot of coronary work with angiograms, coronary stents and such. There are electrophysiologists, we call them EP doctors. They're what we consider the electricians of the heart. They deal with heart rhythms and such.
I'm a general cardiologist with a focus on prevention. I like to see people who have risk factors for heart disease and help them reduce those risk factors so that you don't actually get the disease that you could get. I think that that is one of the most rewarding parts of cardiology for me, and I can help people learn and teach their own families how to avoid problems with their heart.
I'm extremely excited about our expansion, the new tower being built, the first floor of which will be our new heart center, 2 new state-of-the-art cath labs, a new EP lab. With that comes, a better patient experience.
One of the important things in our project to support the expansion of our cardiology program is the expansion of our critical care unit. Our critical care unit will be going from 20 beds to 35 beds.
I think that here at Williamson Medical Center, the group of cardiologists that have worked together have gone and will continue to go from the best kept secret in Williamson County to something that everybody knows.
I go into the emergency room and was immediately met with tissues, water. Did I need any sandwiches or food? What did I need? Because he had a full team around him already. And I heard him say, "Honey, I'm fine. I'm in good hands." And there was already a plan and a procedure in place when I got there. And the quick action made the difference in his life.
Probably the greatest benefit of the heart program that we are developing here at Williamson Medical Center is truly more for you close to home. I mean, our mission is to treat the people of Williamson County, Franklin, and the surrounding towns here, and to not have patients have to go into Nashville or elsewhere for their heart care.
More for you close to home means that my husband is living today.
Thank you so much, and I'll just share with you that this became personal to me last week with a member of my close family needing to be involved with the heart services, and so good to know that it is close to home and something that we can take care of together as a family. So really appreciate the support we receive and the fact that Williamson Health and Williamson Medical Center are here. So it's Breakfast with the Mayors, so we're going to bring those guys up. Williamson County Mayor Rogers Anderson, Franklin Mayor Ken Moore. Rogers, you get to go first because you are the big mayor, and no, that's their joke, not mine.
He made it up. I didn't.
But so Rogers, you get to go first, and
Go for it, Rogers.
Thank you, Ken. Well, thank you and welcome, and appreciate everyone being here. Mostly the presentation today is going to be from the city of Franklin, but I did want to touch on a couple of things that we're doing on a countywide basis that would have application to all of us. One of those areas is in the area of urban growth boundaries. Over the last year plus, we've been going through that process. During the month of February, all of the municipalities in the county, 6 cities and the county, will be voting on those new urban growth boundaries, making some decisions that have gone through a very laborious process over the last year. So you might want to reach out to your individual cities and look at, or go to our Williamson County website, pull it up, draw down the map, and you can kind of see how the boundaries are running, and we still have a very lengthy process to go through. And the other thing, we continue to grow in our county. Excuse me, during this last year of 2023, our building permits just for outside the municipalities, only in the county, reached about the 4th largest year that we've had since we've been keeping records that go back to in the 80s. So you are seeing some leveling off, but you're still seeing a very large amount of building permits continue to be pulled in the unincorporated part of our county, along with our 6 cities. So, Mindy, I'm going to keep it short. Let Ken and his staff kind of talk about some of the developments today for the city of Franklin. And as always, I appreciate being able to come here and say a few words. Ken?
Hey, great. Well, good morning, and what a great crowd, and thanks for coming out this morning, and thanks for participating in this process. You know, everybody's heard Yogi Berra talk about if you don't have a map, you don't know where you're going. Well, a little over 10 years ago, we created Franklin Forward, which is our strategic plan to help direct us on how we plan our services. It's involved in our budget. In addition to that, there were multiple metrics that we utilized to help us find out if we were doing what we were supposed to be doing. Well, over 10 years is a long time. A lot of things have happened. You know, we've grown 20,000+ people in those 10 years. We've had a pandemic. We've had a lot of new headquarters come. And we've continued to face many of the challenges in our community, such as housing, growing prices, and also transportation issues. So it is time that we take a look again at our strategic plan and help us plan how we're continuing to move this city forward long term and continue to receive those accolades that we've gotten used to receiving. So before we get started, and I'll ask Eric to come on up, what I'd like to do is, since we're at tables, as quickly as Eric comes up, make sure you know everybody at your table, because a lot of this is going to be participatory on your part, and we're excited that not only we're going to be creating this plan utilizing the Board of Mayor and Aldermen and city staff, but the community. So thank you for being here today, and Eric, come on up, make sure you meet everybody.
As they say, talk amongst yourselves. Use this chance, if you haven't already, to scan the Mentimeter code on the center of your table. And I'll welcome to the stage Eric Stuckey, and I'll let him introduce our other guests. But talk amongst yourselves for a few minutes. Can I get the clicker, Emily?
Okay,
you're off.
Real quick, I forgot to tell you that I'm depressed today, very, very depressed, because our sister city, Carleton Place, Canada, challenged us, and we challenged them, that when the Senators and the Predators play, if they win, I have to wear a Senator's jersey, and if we win, their mayor has to wear a Predators jersey. So, not good news. We lost in a shutout, but I am asking for a replay.
We lost in overtime, 4-3. I did bring the senator's scarf that I have from visiting our sister city for him to wear this morning, but he rejected that idea, which that's okay with me. He can do that. He is, after all, the mayor, although it's the big mayor, the little mayor. So I did want to ask, who is here for the first time? Who is attending Breakfast with the Mayors for the first time? Great. Thank you for being here. Thank you for getting engaged and caring about our community. and we hope you'll come back. So we're happy you're here. Now, wait, I did forget, you do get another chance. You could ask for a rematch on February 27th when the senators visit our home ice in Nashville for a rematch on February 27th. So you could ask Mayor Toby up there in Canada for a rematch, but I don't think he's going to do it. So but I'm going to turn it over, get out of the way, have a little fun this morning. We've had a little fun this morning, and now we're going to talk a little business. Eric Stuckey, take it over.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mindy. Thanks, everybody, for being here. I think we have almost 400 folks here today, so thanks for taking time to be with us. Yes, give yourselves a hand. Hope you got to meet some people at your table, maybe some neighbors you haven't met before, and that's a great thing, too. Let's bring up the slides here. We want to talk a little bit about where we've been. Yes, we've had a strategic plan in place for a little over 10 years. It was the first one we ever did in the city of Franklin. And it helped lay out some key things that we wanted to achieve in the community. And like the mayor said, there's over 60 different measures that we identified to try to help us gauge our progress with those goals. We had 4 kind of key pillars that you see up there: a safe, clean, livable city, quality life experiences, effective and fiscally sound city government providing high-quality services, and sustainable growth and economic prosperity. So those are 4 key pillars. Hard to argue against those, right? But they're really important to look at how we're doing. Let's go to the next slide. We did establish a performance website that you can go to and see those measures. You can actually even manipulate the data yourself to look at different time frames and different other ways to slice it, not just the way we laid out the measure in its performance, franklintn.gov. So you can go there and get it through our website as well. So that's a place that there's that accountability, and that's one of the great things that it established is not only measuring things, but an accountability back to us. But it's time to re-examine it, reimagine it. Let's go to the next slide. Why look at it? Well, it's always good to take a new look at the ideas, right? What was relevant 10 years ago may not be as relevant now. We have new leadership in place. We've had changeover in our board. Different things have happened in the community. Mayor referred to it. We've had over 20,000 people in population growth. So realistically, that's probably 1 in 3 of our residents didn't even live here when we did our strategic plan last time. And yes, a lot has changed since 2014. Let's look at the slides. Remember the Ice Bucket Challenge, everybody, 2014? Anybody do that? All right, there we go. All right, what else? Guardians of the Galaxy, #1 at the box office. So that was big. Music, big hit, Happy. Remember that, Mayor? Remember? So my question for you is, who wore it better, Pharrell or Mayor Moore? Let's go Mayor Moore, yeah. All right, so Artist of the Year, according to Billboard magazine, was this young woman named Taylor Swift. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, not everything has changed. Taylor's still kind of a big deal, but T Swift does have a different boyfriend than she had back in 2014. So yes, it's important, but here's what's going to change in how we're looking at this perspective. We really want to take more of a 10-year, broader planning horizon, but within that, have deliverables in the 1, 2, and 3-year time frame. Okay, so Corey and I were talking about this before the session, and the great analogy is it's like planning your family vacation. First of all, you got to know where you're going, right? You got to make that decision, and then you start doing the things that help make that trip happen. The resources, the timing, the route, right? So we want to have that 10-year is our destination, but we want to have benchmarks along the way, 1, 2, and 3 years, to look at how we're doing, are we getting to the right place, with realizing the new challenges that we have, but with the same values and the same priority of being the best place in America to raise your family and build your business. So ultimately, the Board of Mayor and Aldermen will make these decisions. They will determine what those goals ought to be for our community, for our organization, and we will focus as a staff team to deliver on those. But we want to hear from you as well. We are going to pull in some information. We did a broad citizen survey a little over a year ago. That's going to help us. But we're also going to do some surveying and some engagement with our citizens, and we're going to start that today. So I'm going to bring up a woman who's helping us with this, Corey Plash. Corey has worked in public service. Her first job in public service was as a 911 dispatcher. She also worked in city managers' offices, have worked for companies that do citizen polling and strategic work with governments as well. So Corey's going to help be sort of, we talk about our trip to the trip we're going, sort of our, I don't know, air traffic controller, tour guide, something like that. So Corey's going to engage with you, talk a little bit about what we want to get from you today. And again, thanks for being here, and thanks for being part of our community and making it all happen. It's all about our people at the end of the day. So thank you.
Well, thank you everybody for coming today. Great audience, love seeing this. One of the things that I really get excited about is engagement. I really love finding out what it is that people think. So we are actually going to start out by doing that right away. So if we can go ahead and jump right into Mentimeter, you should have those QR codes on the table where you can go ahead and pull that up. Oh, look at that. People have gotten into this already. How long have you lived in Franklin? Put your vote in. Look at this. We're getting this. So put your vote in.
Interesting to see. We're glad to see a wide range. Look, even the less than 2 years are scoring high, up to the ones that have lived here 30 plus years, but 11 to 20 is winning right now.
So we'll give everybody just a second there, just kind of get a feel for the room. How long have people lived here in Franklin? So it looks like, again, it's pretty evenly distributed, isn't it? Which is kind of interesting, right? We've got really nice spread there among everything from less than 2 years to 30 plus years. All right, looks like we're slowing down a little bit. Let's go ahead and go to that next Mentimeter question. So this is one of the things that we do when we talk about strategic planning, is we start looking at what things are important. You guys get to do that as well. Rank in order of importance, with one being the most important, how important the following things are. So the things we have here are things like neighborhood appearance, public safety, parks and recreation, local stores and shopping. Oh, and look at that. We've already got some things that are switching around as people vote.
It took me, when I was practicing this, Corey, I'm going to just admit that it took me a minute to figure out I could drag those up and down on my phone, or I could drag them up into an order. Some days I'm not the most technology savvy person, so just saying, you get to drag those up and down to rank them, and that's what will happen in the next slides as well.
So the next few slides are all going to be about ranking. So the good thing is that everything you're learning on this slide, you'll get to use for the next couple as well. So this is interesting because this is actually pretty consistent with what we actually see nationally about what's important to people. Right now, public safety is coming up first. And that makes a lot of sense, because if you think about it, if you feel safe in your community, that's one of the things that is going to really impact your quality of life. So that makes a lot of sense, right? Give everybody one more minute there, but so far, public safety is definitely pulling ahead in terms of what people think is most important. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next Mentimeter. So same thing, we're going to rank in order of importance how important the following are to a strong and healthy community. And your options here are employment opportunities, well-maintained residential and commercial properties, high-quality Franklin services, and a variety of housing types. Now, there's a little shifting around as we go. Looks like we've got a lot of people still voting there. We'll give you guys a few minutes here.
So we have people watching live on through our streaming and through social media, and I know they wish they could vote too, but if they scan in that QR code, while we were starting, I guess they could. So just so you know, we do stream Breakfast with the Mayors if you're unable to join us, and then this will be recorded and replayed on the city's cable channel for you as well. So.
Oh, look at all those people in there now. So, and this is just kind of a fun thing, but it really kind of drives home what it is that we really do with strategic planning. We're really looking at the things that are important to a community. Because the fact of the matter is that a community can do a million different things. But which ones are you really going to focus on? So far it looks like employment opportunities and those high-quality Franklin services are the ones that are coming out ahead on this. Give this just another minute here.
Really close. It's kind of interesting how close they are. And I think this will be more interesting as we are going to do some table talks in a few seconds to really let you discuss why those things are important to you.
Absolutely. All right, so very much running neck and neck here are those employment opportunities and those high-quality City of Franklin services. Let's go ahead and go on to the last of the Mentimeter questions. So how important are these to the future of Franklin? And I do want you to know we've asked slightly different questions here, right? We've talked a little bit about quality of life. This one's actually talking about the future of Franklin. So which of these things are the most important? Housing affordability, a commitment to environmental sustainability, a good place to raise a family, diverse set of shopping options. And those votes are starting to come in. So what do you think? What are some of the most important things for the future of Franklin? Good place to raise a family is pulling ahead. We'll give you guys a second here to get those votes in.
We will share this information with you after the program via an email probably tomorrow, just so you know, but there's an important part coming up too.
Yes, there is more coming. This just kind of gets you going with kind of what we're going to be talking about a little more today. So definitely looks like a good place to raise a family. This one, that is what is the coming through as that first priority in terms of what is important for the future of Franklin, at least according to this group. If we can go ahead and go over to the slides, please. Next slide, please. My name's Corey. My business is called CP2 Consulting, and all I do is I focus on strategic plan implementation for nonprofits and public sector. It's a little bit different what I do because when we're talking about strategic planning, when we're talking about a priority on people versus a priority on profit, just changes some of the fundamentals, so that's where I focus. As Eric mentioned, I started my career as a 911 dispatcher. I love local government because I feel like this is where the important stuff happens. I told my daughter when I went to grad school, she says, "What are you doing?" And I said, when you get up every morning, you go into the bathroom to brush your teeth, you turn on the faucet, water comes out. She said, "Yeah." I said, "I'm going to help make that happen." And that really is what local government does, right? Local government is there to make sure that those sort of services get to people. So why a community strategic planning survey? Because as Eric mentioned, we're going to be going through in Franklin, and you guys are going to be doing a strategic plan. Understanding what is important to the community is a really important part of that, because the community has changed over the last 10 years. Understanding what's important to the community now is really going to help the mayor and Board of Aldermen in terms of making decisions about goals. When we're talking about goals, you know, a lot of times I kind of talk about vacations because it's just something that people can relate to. Goals, basically, when we think about it, you could do a million things, but we really need to kind of narrow those down. This input is going to help us know what those priorities should be. Next slide, please. How are those results going to be used? We're going to go through, we're going to take some information from several different places, but again, this community survey is going to be one of the important ones. It's going to be a really important piece of data. And the nice thing about a survey is it's quantitative data, right? You can see, kind of like we just did with a Mentimeter, that this is higher than that. That we know that this is more important to residents rather than that. It really gives them something to really dig into in terms of understanding what's going to be important going forward. Next slide, please. How are you guys going to be able to help us? The big thing is going to be take the survey yourself. So you guys just got a little bit of a taste of what that larger survey is going to be like. Larger survey is going to take you probably about 8 minutes. It's going to be a whole lot of questions in there where you're going to be asked about things like, how important are these things to you? How much of a priority should something be? So you're going to be able to go ahead, like I said, about 8 minutes, but it's really going to drive the direction of Franklin over the next 10 years. So go ahead and take that survey yourself. Something else you can do, share what you're learning today. It really helps when we're able to share with neighbors and friends about what it is that is going on and why this is so important for the future of Franklin. Encourage others in your home to take the survey. We love it when we hear from all sorts of people, especially if you've got kids. A lot of times we don't hear from them. If you've got high schoolers, they're the future, right? If you've got college students, they're the future. Encourage them to take it too. We want to hear from everybody when it comes to the future of Franklin. So please encourage others in your home to take the survey. You can share the link with friends and neighbors in Franklin. Now, the link is going to be distributed in other places. It's going to be on the website and some other places, but you can go ahead and share it as well, and then track the progress. So the City of Franklin is going to have information on the website. You'll be able to kind of follow along as well, and you'll be able to ultimately see what the City of Franklin has as the priorities. As Eric mentioned, we're going to have some actual performance measures, and you're going to be able to kind of track progress then over the next few years on those deliverables on those 1 to 3 years, as well as kind of those 10-year vision of where it is that Franklin wants to go. So we encourage everybody to track the progress as well. This is your community. You have an opportunity to really see what's going to be going on with it. So the last thing that we're going to do now is we're actually going to give you an opportunity to talk at your tables about some of these priorities. So if we can go ahead and go to that last Mentimeter question. So here is the thing. There are a lot of priorities that we are going to be able to be talking about. What we want to do is we want to encourage you guys to have conversations at the table. What 3 priorities do you see as the most important for Franklin over the next 1 to 3 years? So just talk with your neighbors a little bit. Sometimes you may hear something from somebody else that really makes you think about something in a new way. So talk with your neighbors a little bit, and then when you're done, feel free to go ahead and jump onto the Mentimeter. As Mindy mentioned before, after today, we are going to be giving you that link. It will be sent out to you, to that link to that larger survey. So again, this is just a little taste. This is not the whole thing. But this gives you an opportunity, though, to really kind of talk with people at your table. What are some of those priorities you'd like to see over the next 1 to 3 years? I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to let you guys go ahead and jump in. Small group discussions at your table. What priorities do you guys want to see over the next 1 to 3 years?
Okay, we're going to give you about 2 more minutes. So we're going to ask you to wrap up, 30 seconds. So oh, look, I didn't even have to do the Boy Scout thing or anything like that. Conversation dying down a little bit. So I'm going to ask Eric a question. So the city has a lot of plans, and this is not a city that puts a plan on the shelf and doesn't use it. How does the strategic plan that we're talking about today interface with some of the other plans that you have, that the city has in place for the future of Franklin?
Absolutely. We look at it with really try to incorporate it in everything we do. Every budget we've done in the last 10 years, everything a staff team member submits has to reference back to at least one of those 4 key elements of the strategic plan. So we plan to continue to do that. We have to show that connection to how is what you want to put in that budget connecting to what we want to achieve in the community. So that's happening with every single budget. It plays a significant role in the capital investments, our major infrastructure investments. We look at how does this help us fulfill needs, meet needs in the community, and advance towards the goals that we set. So this, your opinions help us lay the groundwork for where we want to go and the path we set to get there.
And that capital investment program is really up for discussion right now at the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. If you watch the Board of Mayor and Aldermen meetings on Channel 10, who watches, or on Facebook, who watches those? Great to have an viewing audience. You'll see that you're discussing different sectors of that capital investment program now, so this really does influence that.
Yeah, the board is looking at it. We've updated our financial model that helps support those projects. The good news is we can afford what we had prioritized previously for the 10-year window, but there are other things that are out there that may be important. So the board is looking at how to reprioritize that within the existing financial means, how else we might be able to get other key projects done. So it's really important, and again, this helps shape what those priorities are and how we identify projects, and then ultimately helps support the board in making the decisions they need to make.
Well, thank you so much, and I hope that, so we can put that, if we could put that Mentimeter question number 5 back up there, see how that's changing and see how people are, what they're seeing are their priorities. That's really very interesting, and we see things that are both things the city has provenance over and things the city doesn't have provenance over.
It's all part of the,
it's all
put the
part
different
of the
pieces
process
together as best we can.
And it's great because we do live in a community where the city and the county and other organizations, other cities work together well.
That's right.
So we're lucky in that manner. So thank you, Eric. Thank you, Corey, for being here this morning and helping us work through this. This is, we do have one more slide. We'll go back to our slides. So now's the important thing. You have had, this is a different QR code. You have had the opportunity to respond to the Mentimeter questions today. And if you signed up in advance and followed the instructions and gave us your cell phone number, you should look in your text messages, and you will have a text message to take you to this survey. It went out a little earlier, and so it should be in your phone, and you can take that through your text messages, or if you signed up in advance through Eventbrite, and even if you didn't and you signed in this morning and gave us your email address, you'll receive an email link to the survey. Take the survey today, sometime today or tomorrow, and you're among the first people to get to do that. It's just going on live at the city website, I think at 9 o'clock, so you're going to be among the first people to do that. And Corey, tell us a little bit about the survey. It's not going to take all day or anything like that, right?
No, what you're going to see is that it's multiple choice questions, right? So it is super easy just for you to go ahead and zoom through. It should take you about 8 minutes. You do, though, also have the opportunity. There is some opportunities for you to comment. So if there is some things that you want to go ahead and write out a response, you do have an opportunity to do that. But most of it is going to be multiple choice. You can just zoom through it real quick. Should take about 8 minutes.
And you can take that, because we want you to take that Williamson Health Heart flyer home with you. Maybe jot a few ideas down on there that you learned at your table this morning. Maybe it helped shape your discussion and your thoughts about what's important. So that's really great. But please take the survey. Please help be part of setting the priorities, strategic priorities for the future of Franklin. We've got several aldermen here this morning, and we're going to end a little early probably today, so you might have a chance to grab their ear as well as and talk in person about what your priorities are as well. So please thank Eric and Corey and the mayors for being here this morning. Next slide. So this is a really busy time for Franklin tomorrow. We've got several upcoming events, and we'll go to that slide. So next week, a week from Wednesday, February 7th, we'll be at the Franklin Theater for our 17th Annual Exemplary Community Volunteer Awards. These are not awards for Franklin tomorrow. These are awards from numerous organizations in our community honoring those who volunteer in our community. We've got some of our nominees here this morning, and we appreciate that. We've got the Volunteer Spirit, the Emerging Leader, the Youth Initiative, the Neighbor to Neighbor, and the Corporate Citizen Award, as well as two awards that are very special to us. The A&T Rutherford Exemplary Volunteer Award, which is given in honor of A&T Rutherford, who recently turned 100 years old. And we're so honored to be able to have that award, but also the Representative Charles M. Sargent Legacy Award, and that is in honor of Charles Sargent, one of our late state representatives who really bridged the aisles and worked together to build engagement and collaboration in our community and across the state. The volunteer awards are free. All you have to do is go to our website and RSVP. We're at 260 out of 300 seats, so you may want to do that today or tomorrow. They're free, and we'll even give you some popcorn and a soft drink, so it'll be a lot of fun. They start at 6 p.m. The doors open at 5 p.m. at the Franklin Theater. And then I'm going to let you in on some news. February 12th is our next Frank Talks. It is Black History Month, and we're going to be discovering and learning about the Lee Buckner Rosenwald School. Who knows what a Rosenwald School is? Great, thank you. You'll find this really fascinating to learn about the Rosenwald Schools, which were built by Julius Rosenwald, who was the president of Sears and Roebuck across the United States to educate African Americans at a time when our schools were segregated. And this is the last Rosenwald School remaining in Williamson County, and is being moved to a site in downtown Franklin by the Heritage Foundation of Franklin and Williamson County. So come learn about it. Hear from people who actually attended the Lee Buckner School. So it's exciting. We'll be at the Enrichment Center on February 12th, and we invite you to join us for that event. If you don't already, follow us on social media or sign up for our newsletters so you can stay informed. And we look forward to you taking the survey. Remember, you got a text. You could sit here and take that survey before you even go out and get in your car, although the Franklin police are out there to help you get out of the parking lot too, so you may want to get on out of here. But thanks so much. We really appreciate you. Thank you to our sponsors, Pinnacle Financial Partners and Gresham Smith and all the others for making Breakfast with the Mayors available to our community and keeping it free. Thanks so much, and we hope to see you soon, and I hope you go out and make it a great day in Franklin.
Yeah.